أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وأفضل السلام وأتم التسليم على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran Kareem, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون. I only created jinn and man to worship me. Surah Ad-Dariyah. Only by fulfilling this responsibility we can expect the gifts of the hereafter. Most people have some unfounded expectations and comfort themselves with them. But this is a great error. If one has nothing to expect from the hereafter, there is only one possibility left: to become nothing with death, a possibility that is scarier than all the others. The unbelievers develop various methods of forgetting this possibility because they fear it so much. Among these methods are not talking about discussing or remembering death, even though it is a certainty for everyone. Everybody acts as if it doesn't exist. That most people behave in such a way might be reassuring to some extent, but in reality they are all misguided. People know about death, the last day, and the hereafter, but refuse to ponder them. They are satisfied with this worldly life, or at least make themselves believe that they are. However, Allah reveals that death will find everyone. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم قل إن الموت الذي تفرون منه فإنه ملاقيكم ثم تردون إلى عالم الغيب والشهادة فَيُنَبِّئُكُمْ بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ. صدق الله العظيم. Say, death from which you are fleeing will certainly catch up with you. Then you will be returned to the knower of the unseen and the visible, and he will inform you about what you did. Surah Al-Jum'ah. The universe and all of it contents, not just humanity, will die on the day of judgment, for on that day the trial will end. Many people will recognize its coming by its signs, and the events leading up to the universe's death will be literally harrowing. Finally, on that day, Allah will raise up all those in the graves, and all people on the earth will be called to account. Those who did not expect to experience such a day will no longer be able to deny it, and so will bow to Allah's will whether they want to or not. Allah has prepared a spectacular end for the universe, and despite most people's attempts to deny this reality, the day of judgment will come at its appointed time. The day of judgment is a certain reality. People who are satisfied with these worldly temporary values and pleasures do their best to ignore such facts at their eventual death, which is just around the corner in the day of resurrection. By not reflecting upon such truths, they tell themselves that they can live only for themselves and forget about their duties to Allah. The Quran graphically depicts the events of the last day and all of the people's accompanying shock, fear, panic, and mental framework. The universe will end in the same spectacular fashion in which it was created. Planets will fall out of their orbits and mountains will be moved. In the face of such amazing events, those who put their faith in chance and random happenings will realize that only Allah rules over everything. Allah states, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم قل لمن ما في السماوات والأرض قل الله كتب على نفسه الرحمة ليجمعنكم إلى يوم القيامة لا ريب فيه الذين خسروا أنفسهم فهم لا يؤمنون. Say, to whom does everything in the heavens and earth belong? Say, to Allah. He has made mercy incumbent upon himself. He will gather you to the day of resurrection, about which there is no doubt. As for those who have lost their own selves, they have no faith. Surah Al-An'am. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم فإذا نفخ في الصور نفخة واحدة وحملت الأرض والجبال فدكتا دكة واحدة فيومئذ وقعت الواقعة صدق الله العظيم. So when the trumpet is blown with a single blast, and earth and the mountains are lifted and crushed with a single blow, on that day the occurrence will occur. Surah Al-Haqqa. The day of judgment's hour is predetermined. As time progresses, we are speedily approaching the day of judgment. Most people think that this day is in the distant future. However, that would be well advised to remember that previous generation had the same attitude. In reality, everyone who has ever lived will witness these events and assemble in Allah's presence. No one will be able to escape, as only Allah knows when the day of judgment will come. There is no guarantee that it will not happen while you are making plans for the future and are busying yourselves with your everyday lives. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. قل إن أدري أقريب ما توعدون أم يجعل له ربي أمدا عالم الغيب فلا يظهر على غيبه أحدا صدق الله العظيم. Say, I don't know whether what you are promised is close or whether my Lord will appoint a longer time before it. He is the knower of the unseen and doesn't divulge. He is unseen to anyone. Surah Al-Jinn. The great order in which Allah created life will terminate at a time unknown to us. Those who doubt this fact and choose not to believe in it may consider themselves reasonable, and so this day will be a hard and scary one of them. For this reason, it is far more beneficial and positive to believe in it, for it will be of no use to believe in it when the hour has struck, or not to feel remorse for their self-deception. One verse describes such remorse as follows: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم فإذا جاءت الطامة الكبرى يوم يتذكر الإنسان ما سعى صدق الله العظيم. When the great calamity comes, that day man will remember what he has striven for. Surah An-Nazi'ah. The final hour and the eternal life that follows are the most important realities awaiting people. For this reason, the Quran has stressed the impermanence of this life. Nothing on earth, not your career, marriage, wealth, or property, is important enough to waste your eternal life pursuing. The only thing worth pursuing and living for is Allah's pleasure. Allah will begin the eternal life in the most spectacular way. Everyone who meets this day will realize that this temporary life has definitely come to an end, and will comprehend the hereafter's existence with certainty. Before they meet this day, every person has to remember the hour of the day of judgment and what it brings, even though they may never have contemplated it. The contents of this book have been designed to help you extract yourself from your everyday occupation and desires for a while, so that you can see the true purpose for your life. It seeks to inform you in advance about the day of judgment that you will most certainly encounter. There is an important warning, because everybody who ignores this day and its aftermath will witness unbearable events on the day of judgment and experience endless hardship in the hereafter. You will most certainly encounter this day, which the Quran describes in great detail. You will see that all of your possessions, even your body, will desert you, and then you will be created anew. You must use the opportunity given to you by Allah to obtain the reward, happiness, and peace awaiting you in the hereafter, which cannot be compared to anything on earth. The only thing that you have to do is to believe in Allah and the certainty of the hereafter and be thankful for all the blessings that He gives to you. If you don't, you will experience all pervasive regret in the hereafter, for the Quran states that أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قد خسر الذين كذبوا بلقاء الله حتى إذا جاءتهم الساعة بغتة قالوا يا حسرتنا على ما فرطنا فيها وهم يحملون أوزارهم على ظهورهم ألا ساء ما يزرون. صدق الله العظيم. Those who deny the meeting with Allah have lost, so that when the hour comes upon them suddenly, they will exclaim, alas, for what we neglected there. They will bear their burdens on their backs. How evil that what they bear. Surah Al-An'am. This is why you should accept that the hereafter is a certainty and so prepare accordingly. Only then will your actions during this life have a lasting value, and will you receive an unqualified return, on earth as well as in the hereafter. This reward will be the hospitality of paradise, where you can have everything that you desire. Remember that on the day of judgment everybody will be judged alone in Allah's presence. Therefore make the right efforts and prepare for death and its aftermath, for you will receive exactly what you deserve. However, the greatest reward is His good pleasure. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله ولتنظر نفس ما قدمت لغد واتقوا الله إن الله خبير بما تعملون ولا تكونوا كالذين نسوا الله فأنساهم أنفسهم أولئك هم الفاسقون. O you who believe, heed Allah and let each self look to what it has sent forward for tomorrow. Heed Allah. Allah is aware of what you do. Do not be like those who forgot Allah, so He made them forget themselves. Such people are the deviators. Surah Al-Hashr. Before they meet this day, every person has to remember the hour of the day of judgment and what it brings, even though they may never have contemplated it.